Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Stitch and Books. My name is Jill, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm a 30-something professional nanny living in Southern California. And this is my channel where I primarily talk about cross stitch and the books I listen to while stitching. And I'm just so happy and thankful that you are here, you choose to spend your time with me, you comment, like, subscribe, interact in any way. It just means a lot to have this little corner where I can share my stitching. And yeah, I will have this disclosure right now. It's been a while. I posted a video in May, however, that video was filmed at the end of March, so that's how long it took me to get up the emotional bandwidth that it is to edit these videos, because they are not, to watch myself talk for an hour is very hard. But anyways, I do it because I do like to do this. So this one is a long overdue. It is with every intention that I'm going to get this video filmed and edited and posted in the same weekend. So if you are seeing this sometime mid-June, that means I did it. And if not, well, you'll see it when you see it. So without further ado, let's just get into it, because I have no cross stitch finishes, but I finished a lot of project bags. I have new starts and I have whips, and I probably have, and I feel like I say this every single time, but I have a lot of haul, because this is basically all of April, all of May, and we're halfway through June. There was a lot of shopping that happened during that time. Yeah, it's not the best, but it happened and it's here, so I have it. And I would like to release it into my stash, because right now it's just sitting in a bag waiting to make its debut, and then I put it into my stash after. So I really kind of want to clean this out. But actually having it in this bag and seeing the large amount has made it so I'm not buying as much. So let's see if I actually cannot buy as much, which I think the urge to get things has subsided. And I think it might be because the bag is very full of things, or it could just be that I finally found my unicorn. Well, I have determined my unicorn. And now I'm kind of okay, if things come to me, it comes to me, but there's no longer a hunt. All that we will get into at the end, but let's get into the stitching. No cross stitch finishes for you today. I just spent 4 days when I got back from Idaho, which was at the end of March, early April, and I wanted to make project bags because I felt like the projects that I had, I needed one with a larger, I needed to make different sizes, and I do only zip top bags anyway, and I can do whatever I want. So I made this one with just a simple lining, and then I had this fabric in stash, simple lining. I had this little polka dot one with a darker lining. Finally made a Halloween bag with, this is the same thing that I made my mom for her Mr. Bone Jangles that I gifted to her a while back. But so you have the skull in print, and then the skeleton tombstones. I need to find a project that will work in this. I think I have one actually that could work. And then I have, this one's a little different of a size, but it's such a cute little cross stitch fabric, and dark on the inside. This one with light on the inside, and this one. Most of these fabrics I had in stash, and I have a couple more, but there's some projects, I'm staring at one right now, just over there on the couch. I actually had two on the couch. So there's this one, and it's actually housing, I have to fully finish in here. This is all my owl forest threads, and this will be my owl forest project bag. And then I have this one. This is was the main reason why I wanted to make project bags, because this needed a big one. because this has my, you saw it in my last video, it's my covered bridge chart. That was the Bucilla kit, and because it has like a lot of floss, I needed a big bag for all the floss. So this one's more of like a satiny, silky material, so that was a little fun to work with. I felt it was pretty easy. Yeah, those are just like basic zipper top bags. They work the best for me because I try to do everything digitally. So I have my iPad and then I bring a bag and I stuff scissors, orc catcher, and my needle book in there, which I think I showed you my needle book last time. So if I don't, if you want to see my needle book, because I made that myself, leave a comment and I will show it for my next video if you have not seen it. And then there's a couple more bags for the projects that I am gonna show you for the whips. Yay. Getting into the stitching, I have 5 new whips for you, or 5 new starts for you. They're whips now, but they are new starts. You would think I would have done that for Mania, but no, it was just random new starts, I think mainly in April, and then only 1 new start in May. I think if my memory serves me correct. This is my Carolyn Manning round robin piece, which is a round robin with Jen from Jen's Fiber Web, Rebecca from Beck Stitches Everything, and Jamie from Nesting Seam Stitchery. And this is her piece. This is her piece called Morning's Piece. And so this is the picture here for you. And so Jamie stitched it first, then went to Jen, and then now I'm working on it. So Jamie's side, Jen's side, and I'm right below it. So as you can see, Jamie's gonna finish hers when she gets it back. This is a 32 count vintage smoky white linen from Zwiegart, and it's the printed one. You can kind of tell that it has the modeling on the front. I actually have a piece of this, a smaller piece of this, in my stash, I believe. So it's really fun to work on. I'm going to do what I was doing with Jen's piece, which I'm trying to stitch all the green, get all the green stitched in there, and then go in with the blues and the purple. I guess it's mainly purples, but this is such a lovely, I love all the different colors for it. You can kind of see the colors there. So that is I haven't quite worked on this as much as I would have liked to, and especially I did barely worked on this for Manning May, hashtag Manning May. It just, what you'll see in when I talk about my whips, my Italian lemons has completely taken over my life, and I fear that it's gonna be like my Christmas stocking where I just have to work on that and only that in order to get it done in the deadline that I have proposed for myself. But anyways, this is Morning's piece. I do enjoy working on this. 2/2 for the 32 count linen. Yeah, so I do want to get this done though. Before I take off for the summer, for a summer trip, I'd like to like send this off. So hopefully by the end of July, I get my little quadrant done and I send it up to Rebecca. Next whip I have, it's technically a restart, but it is the Amur Leopard from Lindy Stitches. I originally started this on like a mystery linen, and it just, the warp and the weft weren't even, so my little guy turned out to be a little squished, long and squished. So I restarted this. So here we have it. I absolutely love this piece now. So this is being stitched on a 36 count. I actually have it here. This one right here. So this isn't a project bag I made, not in this most recent run, but previously. So this is being stitched on a 36 count R&R Vintage Homespun Linen. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna have it gonna be like a Fields Notes journal, which is why I haven't serged the edges, but I'm gonna do a frayed edge finishing for these. But like, look at him, he's just so adorable now. And so started in the center, worked my way up, got in some of the trees and the things. And actually in here, I kept the linen because I wanted to do a progress like side-by-side photo that I did post on my Instagram, but for those who didn't see it. So this is the original. So you can kind of see how he's just a little compared to this one. This guy's just a little narrow and long. So that it just bothered me so much. So that's why I decided, well, maybe one day I'll get those boards, but that's why I decided to redo it from that to that. Looks so much better. So I'm very happy that I finally found, and I think I like this color better too, because it'll just give that kind of like antiqued look of a field notes journal for all the endangered species. So I have it for all 6 of them. I do know Lindy Stitches stuff, she released this at market, and I think she might be releasing a couple more this year, but very fun. You get a bunch of information about the animal, the species, and there were proceeds that went to this. It kind of looks like it's ghosting, but I think it's just because this, you can see through it. There, that's pretty good. So I am so looking forward to getting into the variegated threads, the tree stump that he's on, and all that. So I'm really looking forward to that series. It kind of goes with in the beginning of the year, I said I wanted to do an animal whip for like a focus for a month. And this was the focus for April. So that was my focus animal for April. May, we'll get into it. But anyway, so I do have, so that was that. But I would continue to stitch, and I probably should continue to stitch on it. But I'm keeping up with like 1 different animal per month. So that's a lot of fun. So I'll put that one back in there. Okay, Next new start I have is the Stitch for Pride 2025 spot sampler from Dees 20 Stitches. I'm doing the spot sampler, but you can stitch each month's motif separately if you wish. Hopefully I am putting up I don't think there is a spot sampler so far picture of it because it's a mystery stitch along. So hopefully I'm flashing some pictures of each individual months. I am severely behind, but because it is June, I want to put in a lot of work on this piece if all my plans go correctly. But I have a very teeny tiny start on this one. But here is my start. So this is Elagabalus. They were a Roman emperor that had a little controversial history involved with them. They were one of the youngest emperors when they were 15. I listened to the podcast about them, and they're most notorious for drowning some guests in rose petals. But they were very gender fluid and married and divorced several times, never produced heirs, and by the time they were, let's see here, I think they rose to power because of family meddling when they were 15, and I want to say by 18 they were assassinated. So I do want to say that their grandma attributed to their death. So this is what I have for this motif, and so this is January, February, March, April, May, June. I have 6 months to catch up on, but I'm trying to find, because I like audiobooks, obviously. I'm trying to find more, like I was hoping there is a book in the learning material. There is a book that like they reference, that Dee has referenced to learn more about Elagabalus. And I want to listen to it because I think it would be absolutely fascinating to listen, because I just did this, technically I had started it with a little bit of their crown and the star right there. So all this was done during the like hour-long podcast. So I definitely need like more material to go with this, or maybe I'll find a book that's just set in ancient Roman times and just kind of stitch on that while I'm stitching this motif. Or hopefully get the audiobook. I need to find more audio sources so I can stitch while doing this, just so I can really immerse myself in the teaching and the learning educational part of this Stitch for Pride piece. It's all about people, trans people throughout history, not just glamorizing, but also just showcasing the gender fluidity that has been documented throughout history. Like, so that is what I'm looking forward to learning more about. And this, you might want to know what I'm stitching it on. I'm stitching it on a 32 count, yeah, 32 count Gobi linen from Fortnight Fabrics. I got this off of the Destash, and I thought all the colors, I put a picture up on my Instagram, but I thought all the colors of the floss pack that is in this bag that I made myself, I thought it was very bright and colorful. These are just the floss leading up to April. I need to put the rest, but they are the called for floss from Algae Ross floss. It was the Stitch for Pride stitch pack. I especially wanted it. I went through what happened with it last time, and why I really like it, but basically use colors that were for the times and all that. I explained it a lot more in my other one, and I hate to do this to you, but you can reference that one. And I have the rest in here, but I won't get them out because they're perfectly packaged right there. You can go see that, or here's the picture from my Instagram that has all of the months. They're not in order, but naturally dyed and with a historical point to them. So they really tried to get a color that would match that time in history or that was very popular. This one was with indigo. So I'm absolutely loving the learning part of this. It kind of, it brings the piece alive. I also have the fabric in here for the 2024 Stitch for Pride, Stitch for Pride Sal. So I do want to get started on that. Pulling my own floss is a bit intimidating because here's the picture. There is this, I do know I've seen a fully finished picture of the 2024 spot sampler, and I just think the variegated threads in that one are so cool. So trying to find my own floss for that, it'll be quite intimidating, but I just need to jump in and do it. So that's what I have, but I need to go through this video rather quickly. So anyways, here it is. I want to get more work on this piece this month for Pride Month. And this is like purpley but dark enough, but not too dark. I really just want to get moving on it. That's all I really have to say about it. So that's start number 3. My 4th new start is the Nature's Journey, and I feel like everybody and their mother is working on this project. It came out in Cross Stitch magazine. This is from Sprouting Lupine. It is their year-long sale that Just Cross Stitch is doing. So I saw it and I was like, yes, and then I see everybody else stitching it. And of course, like, this is like a FOMO piece for me. I love how it's a subtle year-long sampler, and it's nature. I'm finding that I really like to stitch nature. Anyways, here is my progress. So I'm stitching this on a 40 count, because I am so out of this, a 40 count limited edition 21823 from Atomic Ranch Fabrics. I got this off of a Destash group too. I just think this piece is so beautiful, like spring, summer, fall, and winter. You can kind of tell the where fall and winter will be are gonna be a bit darker. So this was actually sitting in my stash, folded up like this way, so this colorway was out, but and this is why I chose it, but to be fair, this is what I think is supposed to be the front of the fabric, and you can tell the modeling is way more pronounced, really stark, and it just, when I kind of figured that out, I was like, oh, this might be the right side to the fabric, but I was drawn more to the subtle side of it for this stitch along and for this project. So I think, obviously I am stitching it on this, but just going from like here to here. I think this works out really well. I'll get you a close in. I am worried about my white stitches kind of ghosting a bit on this fabric, especially for the butterfly. And we have this big flower over here. A little bit worried about that, but I did look at the original, like in the photo, and I zoomed it in. Their white stitches were ghosting too in the model. So I don't feel too like this was a bad choice, but I do kind of, I think what I'm going to do is stitch a lot of everything else and then kind of see, once I have more colors in here, what exactly, like you can't really tell that at all on here, and even in person, can't really tell. So do I want to maybe get a more muddied white or just stick with this? Because I do think this is B5200. Exactly sure. So, but we will, and it's nice because like the spring came out and then everybody like started it, and then summer came out really quickly. So so I have access to both sides. So if I have a thread that like I'm working on over here, like this brown, I saw that it was over here, so I kind of like did that. So yeah, this is my 40 count. This is kind of like my morning stitching because my eyes like it a little bit better in the morning. So there's Nature's Journey by Sprouting Lupine. That was my 4th new start, and I've been really loving it. Jill from the future, splicing this in. This project lives in this project bag. This is a fabric that I picked up on my trip to Idaho, and I absolutely love it. It's a tulip pink. I love this little flowers. Oh, I love it. So this is what this project's living in, because I just was cleaning up and I forgot to mention it, and I do not want this to not have its moment when all the other bags have been having their moments. This 5th new start, I think it's because I really needed, I showed it, I think in my last video, but this is the Bucilla kit that I got, that it's Flutters and flowers. I do believe it's like staring at me in my stash pile over there. But here's the mock-up photo for it. It's something that just I couldn't stop thinking about, and so I decided to put it into, I did the digital charting for it and put it in Saga, and I wanted to start it, and this is the most pitiful start of ever. You're gonna look at this and just be like, where is it? Here it is. Yeah, it's 100%. You are probably thinking you're looking at a completely blank piece of fabric, but I swear there's stitches. They're just right there, and the middle stitches are like the very whitest color. So on this fabric, you can't tell at all. I just really wanted to start this piece, and I just needed to put stitches in it, and I wanted a new start in May, so I like did it for the last day of May. But I will show you, here's the floss for it, because the floss shows you the colors that are gonna be on this. I also need to kind of remember which way is up. But so you're gonna have all these pretty flosses. So it is a very muted color palette anyways, but most of the colors are gonna be up in the flowers. And I did a little bit of rearranging because for me, when I was staring at this, it just seemed a bit off. So I think I moved, it'll be over here. I moved a butterfly that was like more here. I kind of like scrunched it in a bit. So that way the line of like the V of the table runner down here will match up with the middle, because having that butterfly off like 2 stitches made that the point down here was not going to be like the center line, and that was driving me crazy. So I did a little bit of rearranging of it as well, but why am I holding it up when it has nothing on there? This is being stitched on my favorite non-cross stitch fabric linen, but it does equal out to be a 28 count. I have several projects on this linen because it's just, I didn't like the white Ada that came in the kit, so I knew this would be absolutely gorgeous to have for this piece. and that is living in a bag that I zipped that I sewed for myself. Going into the whips that you have seen before, the first one up is what I call Otter, and it's by Sitka Stitches. I had this be my, what was it? I think this was my March animal focus piece. And so, right? Or is this my April one? I think this was my March. Let's consult. Yes. So this Otter was my March focus animal whip. I started it first last summer during the Summer Olympics for the prompt water. And then when I started that, I was only working on the paper, and I decided to chart it so I could digitally put it into Saga, only because it was like a hand-drawn paper, black and white, and I just wanted to read it easier. So without further ado, here I go. This is being stitched on a 36 count Nessie Edinburgh linen by Picture This Plus. I think it's the perfect linen for this piece. I mean, look at the whiskers that I have on there. So the only thing that I have left for this piece is to do the blue. So I'm doing this a 2/2 on the 36 count, because normally 28 count and 32 count I'll do 2/2, and then 36 and 40 count I do 1/2. But this, I really wanted the fluffy stitches for this Otter, so you have really dense stitches for the Otter, and then for the water I'm doing 1/2. Not exactly sure you can see the difference, but I just thought that would kind of give it the dimension that I am looking for. So you have a very floofy Otter, and then the water all around will be 1/2, and I think it'll play off with the fabric. I just love it. Originally the design, because you're seeing the digital mock-up, but it like had this in a circle. So I got rid of that, as you'll see, and so I kind of like extended some of the water lines and just have it be more of like an organic thing. So I'm very happy with this. Don't know how many stitches I have left on it, but definitely could have finished it. And why don't I just work on it until it's done? Because the month was up and it was time to move on to other things. So if I need a quick finish, I will pull this back out. But yeah, there's the Otter. I love it. Just DMC, called for DMC for that one. Next up, we have what was my May animal, and I really struggled with like finding an animal, because I know right now we're in June and it's Raccoon June, and you'll see that whip coming up, and I like really knew I wanted to stitch on my Raccoon, but I like felt like I wanted to stitch on it in May because I just wanted it, and I just didn't feel inspired to have an animal whip for May. So, but then I just decided to do this modern abstract butterfly, or I guess it's not abstract, but modern butterfly by Box and Fox on Etsy. They're one of my favorite designers, Etsy designers, and this is being stitched on my 28 count non-cross stitch linen. I also am struggling with this piece because for me, these colors aren't appropriately matching the mock-up. Like I especially have a problem with that flower down there. This is 2/2. I love the look of it, and I think I just need to put in more colors and stitches and just kind of see how they all play off, because like looking at it right here, I don't mind it, but I do know it is different than what just the mock-up photo has. So this is also why I struggle to stitch on this, because I just feel like it's just lacking, but I do want to do it. And no shade to Box and Fox, I just think like sometimes if you don't have something stitched up, it can be different than what the mock-up has. Really haven't put much in since you saw it in my whip parade at the beginning of the year. So, but that was like 6 months ago. So this could be just like, hey. Yeah, so that's all I have to say for that. My next whip is one of my like most favorite new whips that I have. This is Sunshine and Shadows by my absolute favorite designer, which is Barbara and Cheryl Presents. They're from like the 80s. God, I wish I knew it. I don't have the chart. You're seeing the digital mock-up that I charted this into so I could have the saga file for it because it is 100% full coverage. And I just am enjoying for full coverage pieces or like older handwritten, hand-drawn charts like the Otter was. I'm really liking having the digital file. The butterfly, I don't need the saga file for it just because I can just have the digital PDF and mark it off in my GoodNotes app or just on the Native Files app on my iPad. But for full coverages, it's nice to have it. So this is Sunshine and Shadows, Barbara and Cheryl, one of my new starts, last one. So I have this little corner. I think you can really tell that it is a brick wall over here. I think it's in like the sun coming in. I love it. This is being stitched on 20 count rustic Ada or Rustico Ada from Zwiegart. And so it's 1/2, and I think the coverage is really great, especially when it's gonna be back here right now. So this is kind of like all of the brick. These colors missing over here are gonna be the greenery. And then obviously the mortar in here is gonna be like this different shades of this gray that comes down. But for full coverage, I'm really enjoying this. So I'm just picking a color and I'm taking it as far as it can go in like the certain area. I think a couple of these reds will pop up in the like pathway down here, but for right now, like just doing a color and kind of color completing it. I'll show you my back. I don't feel like I'm going around too much. I still feel like this, for a full coverage, I still kind of feel like this is a pretty neat back. So I'm excited. Not normally a full coverage stitcher, but you would think otherwise based off of this project. The next 2 whips I have that I'm a full coverage stitcher, but I'm not. I wouldn't consider myself, and I'm still don't think I would ever do a Hade, but I do think these will be doing a lot of Barbara and Cheryl because I love all these charts, and you will see in haul that I bought a lot. I do like these full coverage, and if I can do them all on 20 count to make them like manageable, this is a 2-inch margin on all sides, like I feel like that's a manageable full coverage for me. I don't think I could do super big because I have one that's super big, but I want that one to be super big. These ones I'm happy to have them kind of be more of like manageable. And doing 1 strand on 20 count Ada, I can do like the sewing method really well because I don't have to worry about railroading, and it can fly by. So I'm really enjoying this project. This is a project that I've been looking forward to working on again ever since last year when Bendy Stitchy and Chinook Crafter, both of those Instagram handles, they dubbed June as Raccoon June. And I mean, how could I not? So this is my raccoon from Cottage Garden Samplings from A Year in the Woods. Last year, they are coming out. They have a new Year in the Woods and they released the wolf. Super excited to see that roll out, but here is my little raccoon. I just think, so all the pink and the green is done. And then I've actually finished this light gray. There's like these couple of things over here. So this light gray is all finished for the raccoon. So I am now working in on this. I do believe it's 610. So once I finish with the tail, then that color will be done. And then I can just go in, I will have I think I'll have 3 colors left. I will have a variegated color, the dark gray, and then I will have, a couple more like colors for the raccoon. I'm redoing this. This will be I'm gonna chart an igloo cooler to go down there, and then this is going to be a gift for my best friend, and I will stitch it again for me because I have another one of these, and it's been fun. I really enjoy working on this piece. I just think it's so cute. It's being stitched on a 40 count belt linen, the called for linen. Took me forever to find this when I was first kitting this up. So, but I'm so happy that I have the called for and all the called for specialty. There's only two. It's the Charlotte's pink and then a gray that goes into the Raccoon from Weeks Dye Works. Everything else is DMC, but this one is so absolutely fun. I love stitching on this, which is why in May, I just wanted to stitch on it, but I wanted to save it for Raccoon June. Not that I've done anything like social media wise with Raccoon June since I've like stitched on this month. But that's my own problem with being more of like an observer on social media, not so much about poster. That's my problem. I know I'm stitching on it in honor of Raccoon June, which I don't know if it's still going on this year or if I'm just carrying it over, but I know we have the Strawberry Moon Sal, but I mean the Raccoon June, how could you not? I know a lot of people who I watch on Flosstube, who do Raccoon June, or who stitch who have raccoon whips. This would work out perfectly. So that's that. 1/2 because it's 40 count. And also, if I'm forgetting anything, because I'm extremely rusty with this, all the details, I do a very extensive description box below, so please do that, or email me, or find me on Instagram, send me a DM or comment, and I will do my best to get in touch or give you what you're looking for, because that is what I'm here for. And my raccoon is actually living in, I didn't make this, but I do feel like it needs to be kind of, this and my peacock, which is also Cartage Garden samplings, live in this project bag. And this is one I picked up in Hawaii on a work trip, and it's from Upcycle Hawaii. So basically this is all recycled plastic melted down into kind of this recycled plastic vinyl bag. I just thought it was so unique, from Hawaii, made by Hawaiians, and it's just all recycled plastic. I thought it was super cute. So I picked this up and while I was in Hawaii, and I just thought it was so cute. And I love having these projects in it. And I feel like, especially for the raccoon, it's kind of very topical because raccoons like to rummage through the trash. So this is just like my little trash bag. So fun. All right, the next two whips should come as a no surprise to anyone who's been around for a while. Well, the second one. The first one should not. So this is my Italian Lemons piece by Cooler Design Studio. I got this as a kit off of a Destash group, but you can go on to their website and buy the PDF version, maybe even the paper pattern too. But so I've been working on this. This is for my cousin for her wedding. Well, it was supposed to be for her wedding, but now it's going to be for her 1-year wedding anniversary, which is in September. So this is what's been taking up a lot of my time and a lot of like, I'm just reminded I don't like goal stitching. Like if you were here when I was talking about my mom's stocking, like there at a certain point I had to be monogamous because I needed to get it done. And while I have, hello, isn't she lovely? Well, I have about like almost 60% completed on the cross stitches, or on this piece, because it does, Saga includes back stitching as well. And I was like, oh, 130 stitches a day, that is no problem. That's like an hour of my time to just like knock things out. Well, burnout is happening for me. And so I have now, well, just not done a lot with this, or I'm like 700 stitches behind because it piles up and then I just get so bogged down. I get a lot of the stitches done when I do like the fill-in. So a lot of the blue fill-in is done, the white fill-in. I just need to bring this over, but I'm starting to fill in all this stuff. So once I get more of the border completed here, like all the little like swirlies here and more of the light blue down there, then I'm just going to make up the stitches that I've missed and just plug away with white stitching, and because I have about like 4,000 left for white stitches. It's a lot. Yeah, I think it's 4,000 stitches left for white. So I also would like to have that not be at the end of my at the end of this piece. Like I kind of want to finish with like fun stuff. I do want to finish the white and then do all the back stitching though. So I think I'll definitely finish with the back stitch. But I do just want to finish out. I want to get this done. I am loving working on this, and like, just look, it's gonna be phenomenal. But I kind of have a deadline. It needs to be done by the beginning of September because I'm going to Pinwis in Portland, Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit with my mom, and that's right around their 1-year wedding anniversary. So this is going to be gifted. It needs to be done. I'm gonna customize it with like their last name, Ravello, Italy, which is where they got married, and like maybe like establish 2024. There is a little spot down here already that I've mapped out for my initials, so I can put my name on this piece too. But this is Lemons. Yeah, I mean, that's the piece. You've heard me talk about it many times before, but like, just another moment. She's having a glory moment. It looks so amazing, but this is basically like full coverage. So that's why I said, like, I didn't think it was a full coverage stitcher, but this one, and like, you know, sunshine and shadows, and then my next one here is full coverage. So when did that happen? Someone please explain to me when that happened. This one is being stitched on a 32 count vintage Sahara linen from Zwiegart. It's 2/2. And so that's the little detail that you kind of need to know. It is printed, even though it's full coverage, the Ada that came in the package was kind of printed. So that is why I went with the printed. The final whip that I have for you it coincides with Andrew from the Runner Stitcher. He's doing whip into shape, and so I kind of, like I just said, I don't really like gold stitching. I kind of wanted to use that as extra motivation to put a lot of stitches in on this next project, which is Hagrid's Hut by Paradise Stitch. This is what I have. So it's huge. This is being stitched on a 28 count icy blue linen from Zwiegart. And so with probably the most generous margins ever, because I will want to get this professionally framed when it is time. But I made my way up to the top corner, and so I'm just kind of stitching. I am cowardly waiting to put in like the half, because all the background is like half stitch of 2 or like a full cross of 1. So I'm just kind of like waiting, because that was my issue with the last fabric, is that the color shone through. But I think I'll be fine, because in Saga you can do, you can kind of test out how the stitches will look with different color fabrics behind it, and it should look good with this icy blue. So this is what I have. So I'm behind by like a week. I have like 300 stitches to catch up on, and then for this week probably another 300, so 600 stitches to catch up on. But just because I want to get more done. This is a huge piece, and I don't want it to take forever, but I also don't want to rush through it or feel like it's a chore, because that takes away the whole fun of doing it. So that's what I have on that. It'll be, so this is the scarecrow right here. This is a bit of the scarecrow here, but the tree, and I mean, I'm like close to the pumpkins that are down here. So that'll be fun to get into the oranges. But yeah, so I will continue to do this for the whip into shape and see until the end of August. We'll see what all I can get done if I stay on top of it. So that's been fun. So thank you, Andrew, for putting together that whole spreadsheet so we can all follow along and cheer for you. I used to be a runner. I haven't ran in so long since I broke my ankle for the 3rd time. But I have been feeling called to just, because I do a lot of walking, but running was very therapeutic for me. So I am kind of being a little bit more motivated to pick up running shoes. I mean, I bought new running shoes, so I definitely am like that step closer. It's just the timing that I have to really get the dedication for. So yeah, that's it. Those are my final whips. That's all the stitching I have done in like the 2 months that I have last filmed. And so I think that's all that needs to be said. Are you guys ready for what is about to happen? Like I said, I haven't sat down to film since the end of March, and I went to Idaho in March. I went to NLNS in Idaho, and I've just been like buying a lot on Destash groups, or like Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe from her Etsy Destash, and like pattern resale business that she's done. There's a lot that I have, and it's a gross amount, so please feel free to completely gloss over. It's a gross enough amount for me, and I feel like I've said this before in another video, because this is what happens, like months go by and then I have like this huge amount to film. And I'm gonna go through this as quick as possible because I have the time, I have to be somewhere. So we're gonna go through this as quick as possible. If you want any more details, please let me know. But once I get to stitching these things, you'll get more details. So we're gonna rapid fire. Please keep up and dip out. There's always timestamps. Find your piece and go with it. Before we get into the LNS haul, it's Maggies on Main in Eagleton, no, not Eagleton, Maggies on Main. It's in the Boise, Idaho area. Before I get into that haul, they do have a creative reuse store in Boise. It is in a garden center, so it's only open certain days, and it's upstairs the garden center. Kind of threw me for a loop. If you're in the area, go check it out. I don't think their prices were like the best prices in terms of like resale stuff, because I know I got like this 32 count scrap of linen for $4.50. Like, I know I overpaid for this, but I really thought it was a good color in terms of like ornaments or whatever. But $4.50, not exactly sure. I did get a bunch of this Ada. I'm excited to use. This is an 18 count, the rest 18, 18, 18. I thought I could dye this Ada for some of my Barbara and Cheryl. 25 cents, I got this little pattern. I thought this was cute. I really still want to do some door dusters. So I figured like this motif would be great to put on a door duster. I saw this koala from Down Under. And then also I got more like florals. That's the receipt. I got more of like a floral. So this is patchwork seasonal squares. So again, I just thought they were really cute, teeny tiny things, but I wasn't that impressed with the creative reuse store just because like this should not have costed $4.50. But why did I get it? Because I wanted it. I did go to a yarn studio. I thought this was very cute. Don't know what I will use with it because I'm still not a knitter, and stupidly I only bought one. So if I did want to make anything wearable besides a scarf like this, I would need more. Why did I get it? It was pretty, it's soft, I like it, I wanted it. Okay, so Maggies on Main. It is a drive from Boise to get to the cross stitch shop, and they also do quilting and just other art stuff too. It was a drive worth it to just go into a place and just check out all their charts and their linen. It was a different experience than like when I went to Florida for the cross stitch covered. Just in terms of like the charts and stuff, they had a lot of newer charts, which is fun. They just had a lot of newer ones. So the first thing that I got, because I'm going to Pinwis and I don't have anything from Gigi, the Artsy Housewife, I saw this. This has been on my radar for a while, so I decided to get Mellow Yellow and I kitted it up with all the fancy floss that it calls for. So I have this, and then I thought there were two fabrics that were there. This is a 36 count brick linen from Fiber on a Whim. So there's this one, or this 36 count, picture this plus gingerbread linen that could, I feel like I'm more leaning towards the gingerbread, but I also feel like maybe the brick could work for this piece. So I did kind of like get these two to kind of see what would work best with these flosses, because I think one of the floss in here, I think it goes too much on this one, but it would stand out on this one. So this will be something that I do. Maybe I'll start it when I'm at Pinwis. I got that, and then I picked up more fabric. So this is I do believe it's a 20 count Ada from Atomic Ranch Sahara fabric. So yeah, it's a 20 count Ada Sahara from Atomic Ranch. a nice like neutral linen. And then I got, this is a, from Lap and Loops, 32 count linen, tea Earl Grey hot. Another good, I'm trying to get a linen from like kind of every major like dyer. So that was my goal, is to try to get more from different, like this one is Friendship Green from Fabrics by Stephanie, a 36 count linen. So these are all like dyers that I don't have in my stash. I do have a big stash, but those ones I don't. And then I went to a fabric shop too, got some of this Tulip Pink fabric. You already saw it as a project bag for my Nature's Journey. So that's the leftover that I didn't use. And we're gonna go in order for what I bought off of the Destash. So this came as a lot. Actually, I'm not exactly sure. The only ones I know for sure are the ones that I bought from Stephanie, because I kind of kept them in their things. So I got from a random Destash, I got this Jardin Privé, Mon Petit Jardin Secret. It's French, but I just thought it was so cute. The colors, the little bird houses, I thought that was super cute. So that I think had to come in a lot, or I had to buy separate from this. I haven't seen this before. This is a, it's by Barbara and Cheryl. It's a pineapple kit. This is just the pattern, but I did not know that Barbara and Cheryl even did stuff like this, because as you know, I'm into my Barbara and Cheryl like thing. So I thought this was just a cute little pineapple. Is, like I said, not the kit, so it's just the chart. So I have that. I think I had to buy those two together. Then another one, Palm Shadows. Just look at that. Like, it's amazing. All of these that I've learned from Barbara and Cheryl that I love the most is based off of artwork from Douglas Greer, and he is from like South Carolina. So these are all like either photos or paintings that he's done that they've charted off of, but like gorgeous. Another Destash, these two definitely came together. So I got Christmas Time. I've never seen this before. I thought this was super unique, especially how they finished it, from Needlework Press, Christmas Time. 12:25 is the time on the clock. So that's cute. And I also wanted this. So this is Baja Christmas. It's a little ornament. So my dad and stepmom, they snowbird down in Baja. So I saw this and I was like, why don't I do the little Christmas ornament that they can put on their tiny tree that they put in their RV? First haul from Stephanie from Across the Globe, from her Etsy shop. I got this Ashton Cottage. I love me a good cottage, like English cottage, so I got that. The Joys of My Garden. I think this is so cute. All these little flowers. There's more in here. There's a couple more. Definitely want to stitch some of those. And then because I'm obsessed, Barbara and Cheryl. These are, I think, some of the early ones. Cityscapes, book, what is this? Book 5. They just look cute little vignettes. And book 6. I like the little fountain in that one. So those are the two in there. Another Barbara and Cheryl that I got off of a Facebook Destash that was on my list was the On the Avenue. I have the companion piece, which I do believe is probably like True Blue, that I got from Stephanie a while back, but this just randomly, or I think I got Etsy, another Etsy seller. I got that one. Another Etsy seller, I got Ironwork Gate. I mean, gorgeous. And then this is a perfect setting. This is a plantation, so I don't know like how committed I am to ever stitching this, but it's a gorgeous piece, but I think I do have like some objection to it. If I were to stitch this though, I've already decided like this is all stitched in the background, but I think I would just get like that color fabric and not stitch the yellow, but then just stitch the blues in the house. But I just don't know if I want to actually stitch a plantation. So, but I'm the commitment to always collect stuff from Barbara and Cheryl. I got it. So I did get this piece of fabric on a Destash, and I'm actually pretty upset only because the package kind of came really horrible enough to where like this was kind of in it. But this was a Fox and Rabbit. Yeah, this is a Fox and Rabbit 32 count Duxbury linen. I'm like, I know I can obviously do without that. Like that can be in the margin. But I'm upset with that little piece there. So I know it might just be dirt, but it's probably some tar-based thing. Maybe I can get it out. So I had that. That's the only actual fabric piece that I've like thrifted or like destashed. So it's mainly charts this time. Other times it's always been fabric. It's mainly charts. Another order from Stephanie. Cause I like monitor her, like her Etsy, just to always be on the lookout. And in fact, one chart did get away from me because I had it sitting in my cart for too long and someone snatched it. But anyway, so I got picket fences. Again, I love a good floral. I just think these are so cute. I think, what one was I thinking of stitching? We can decide that later. And then Queen Street Alley. I think it's so cute. And City Gardens 1. And City Gardens 2. So I'm just missing 3 and 4 because they only did 6. So I've seen it on Etsy. Maybe I'll get it. And then the piece de resistance for my charts, and which is kind of what made me slow down on my chart buying, is I finally got my unicorn. I saw this come up, gosh, it must have come up on, yeah, it came up on a Destash group and it was immediate. So I missed out on this chart when Stephanie did her Instagram destashing. I missed it by an hour. This has been my unicorn. This one, I'm in love with it. I fell in love with it. I just think it's so wonderful. I've already digitized this and charted this. So when Sunshine and Shadows is done, this is ready to be stitched because I'm obsessed. So yeah, that's what I have. This was my unicorn. Now I have it. So in terms of all the other Barbers and Cheryl, like I will definitely be still wanting to get them. I'm technically banned from eBay. I don't know. I'm boycotting eBay because whatever. I don't know why. I think it's because I had an email from college when I sold books and then like I let that account die. People don't like it when accounts die. And then they get really upset when you try to reactivate it. And it's like, you say this email was already an account and then I tried to collect a password and they're like, no account found, whatever. So whenever Barbara and Cheryl come up, especially like on a Destash site, like group on Facebook or on Etsy, I'll get it, but there's no rush because this is what I just really wanted. So if you have any other ones that I'm not aware about, please let me know. So the last piece of haul I have is Floss from Pirate and Robin. So I have... she was having a sale, so of course I had to buy some, and I already have some of their floss for another piece that I have, but I wanted to get more because I have Grimm's Guardian by Sprouting Lupine right here, and I really want to start it, and I was like, oh, I wonder if a variegated floss would work for the stone, and I was like, let me go check out Pirate and Robin. I have not opened these because I figured it could be fun to get my reaction as I do it. So for Grimm's Garden, as you can see, I thought this cobblestone would be the perfect like variegated gray to work for the stonework that's in that piece. So I have cobblestone, and then I wanted to see if I couldn't get like a different color or hand dyed for the wolf. And this is called Wolf. I wanted the black. The Pirate Robin does have like a Grimm or a, yeah, I think it is called Grimm. That is a bit more gray, but I just got the black. And then for the leaves on this piece, I went with Jungle. So These three are all what I wanted for the Sprouting Lupine Grimm's garden. I'm really lacking on that. Or here, Graveyard Guardian. I've been off the whole time. So Graveyard Guardian. So this would be for the stonework in it. I just think it's a very pretty variegation for that. This will be for the wolf. And then this would be for the leaves. So they're not, these ones aren't as variegated, but I figured it'll give just a little bit more depth maybe than just a DMC, and then use this for the stone. And because I was shopping for Pirate and Robin anyways, when they came out with this like at the end of last year, I knew I wanted it, but I just had no reason to start Yule Goddess yet. So I want to start it, and then they were having a sale, so I decided to get the Yule Goddess floss pack. Like, this is just massive. I'm so happy with it. So, I mean, look at these colors. We got 2 of the greens, 3 of the reds, 2 whites, and a brown. Like, those will be, I'm excited to use these for the Yule Goddess by Tiny Modernist. I just think it'll be so much fun, and to have this in stash. So that is something that's on my plans that I want to have. Plans, I'm running out of time. So unfortunately, I have a lot of books. We're going to save that for when I don't take 2 months to record. So you'll just get like however many months of books there. And there's a lot, but they're mainly like just fun light romances or smutty books. And if you really want to know, it's on my Goodreads. I am in the process of switching over to either Storygraph or Fable. So shout out to Eve from Eve's Crafts, because she helped me to kind of talk, because she tried both. So I'm gonna try both and see which one. Otherwise, everybody said Storygraph, but she kind of said Fable and gave a good comparison to both. So I'm gonna try both. But for now, everything's on my Goodreads. That's linked on my Instagram bio. And if I remember, I will put it in the description box below. Let's just do plans, and then I'll do a quick life update, and then I'll say goodbye and hopefully get this up this weekend. Okay, so plans, I need to finish lemons. I'm behind, so I need to finish lemons. So I will be working on that, getting those stitches caught up so it can be done by September. I think I'm overestimating the stitch count because of like the back stitching is in there. So I think I'm in a better position than I think I am, but still gotta keep plugging away and keep up with it. Then whip into shape from the Runner Stitcher, get from Andrew, get all that caught up so I can put progress on Hagrid's hut. And then I want to, as you just saw, the Baja California ornament, I want to do that for my dad. Yule Goddess, if I can find a fabric, I want to stitch Yule Goddess. And then I have it here. When I was in Florida, I bought Kringles. So maybe I start that for Christmas in July. It's a lot. I think I would want to do it on like a 40 count. Otherwise, on a 30 count, it's like 13 by 16. That's like huge, and I don't want to have like a huge thing. I want it to be small, but like you need one blend with like this Abersois gold and blended with a DMC. So I don't know if I can do one strand. I don't know. I'm gonna have to really think about that. So maybe not do this in July. Maybe wait it until December to work on it as I figure out that. My lavender and lace angel, that needs to get some work done for this Christmas in July. I don't really know what other like Christmas holiday stuff I want to do. I'd love to do more Halloween stitching. It's just I don't really decorate for Halloween, so, but I do love a good like skeleton or an anatomical heart, so I might want to do some sort of like stuff like that. I really like Assembly Required by Ink Circles. I really like that chart. And then so maybe I'll do that, or the heart sampler. I don't know, but that's not a heart, that's just a thought, not really a plan. Yeah, and this is being rushed at the end, but yeah, stitching is what you come here for, not really my plans or my life update. But anyways, life update. Summer has kicked off. Summer is very hectic. However, I've been given a very nice break this summer. My afternoon boys, they're just gonna be not needing me as much, and I think I'm just gonna take the time. I feel like I'm on the bridge of burnout and that I'm not really appreciating my job. I do love my job, but I'm just like getting really like bogged down with like a lot being asked of me in one sense, and like almost like unrealistic, or just where I just kind of want to be like, look, I'm very practical in my job. I know what works for me. I know my zone of genius. I know how to do this. And then like adding on like all these little like things where I might think it's a bit ridiculous, but trying to balance like what I know to work for me and how I nanny and what like the family wants. And just like I've been working so much, like way more than I have been ever. And there's a reason why I never really like to work this much. In the 14 years of my career, I've kind of like set it up a certain way, and it's just boundaries get blurred when I enjoy it, but now I'm not enjoying it as much, which is like, I enjoy it. Like my normal enjoyment is up here. I'm just like right here. So I still enjoy it. It's just, and summer is just that time when chaos happens. So I'm given a little break, and I'm gonna take advantage of that break and kind of like take the breather, reassess, realign, like kind of do more things for me as opposed to just always like working, because I am such a helpful person. I always want to be there for other people. It's just, I need to remember to take care of myself. So I can swing it. It's not going to be that detrimental to my livelihood for taking this break. So I'm going to enjoy it and hopefully just refuel my life. Other than that, I think if you were around last year, like summer just gets busy. We have a trip at the end of July, and August, and then school, and it's like potty training. It's a lot. And so that's just, I just need to do a lot. And that's just the nature of my job. It ebbs and flows. And so once fall comes around, it will slow down. That's my sweet spot, which will be perfect because then I can go up to Portland for Pinwist that I've mentioned before. My mom and I are gonna get a hotel at the like retreat hotel, so we will be there. But I am gonna make it like, I think a 10-day trip for me. So I fly home to her, hang out for a couple days. We drive up, family, retreat, family, home. Like it'll be more of a holiday. So that'll be fun. Other than that, I've just been trying to avoid burnout, trying to take care of myself, trying to make it happen, living in the hellscape of right now. So all I gotta say is you guys just take care of yourself, do the best you can. And if it's only the bare minimum, that was the best you could do today, that's great. We can't do everything and be there. As a reminder to myself, we can't do everything and be there for the people who we care about or in our community if we can't take care of ourselves. At the end of the day, stay awesome, be awesome, and do kind things. Thank you so much for putting up with this long video, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.